back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're doing sweet treats all day long because, listen, it is Chocolate Day that we're celebrating across the country. Now, every year on July the 7th, chocolate lovers around the globe celebrate World Chocolate Day, a delicious tribute to one of the world's most beloved treats. I don't trust anybody that doesn't like chocolate, okay? But this celebration is more than just an excuse to indulge. It is rooted in a rich and fascinating history that spans continents and cultures the world over. And it's such a great time to be celebrating.
Yeah, and I think after a day like today, it really marks an occasion which we need to celebrate. We don't really talk about chocolate too much because it always gets the limelight,
yes,
but it is an official day. So let's talk about the history and what's really going on here.
We can start over here. The date marks chocolate's arrival, actually, in Europe, which is a really exciting time, of course, for people that didn't know it was coming. It's kind of like that little treat that comes your way. July the 15th is when it all went down. So very excited that we got to have that. 1550 is when it all went down, on July 7th, rather. Chocolate was first brought to Europe by the Americans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wouldn't have, credited them to bring such goodness, but here we are.
Yeah, I thought they would have claimed that a lot harder if that was actually a known fact. They would have been like, we are chocolate. Let's make chocolate great again.
Yeah, because to me, it's like it's giving the Alps, it's giving some French chocolatier.
Surely Switzerland. Come on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They probably just perfected it right. Okay, then in the 17th century, Europeans began adding sugar and milk.
Oh,
so
okay. That makes sense. The Westerners, they did the things.
They stepped it up and they made chocolate a little bit more palatable and also a little bit more popular. So that was really exciting.
That makes sense. But again, obviously, it's leaning to the demand because I know chocolate generally is a little bit bitter. And I'm actually starting to enjoy more of those like darker chocolates again.
Yes.
But I think generally that's what like consumers are demanding, is a sweeter taste. And that's why we have sugar added to everything. So this makes sense, especially up in the UK. They love them sugar. I see y'all.
Well, this is something that I never knew before, that basically chocolate was once considered sacred.
Ooh, I can see why.
It's sacred in my household. Ancient Mayans and Aztecs revered cacao, calling it the food of the gods.
This makes sense.
Actually, and using it in religious rituals and also as currency.
This makes sense. And I think if you look at what's happening today, we have cacao rituals taking place where they're using it for health benefits, for energizing and for detoxing. So you can really see now as science catches up with it, how important it actually was and the effect that it was having back then. They were ahead of their time, actually.
I'm telling you, shout out to the Mayans and the Aztecs.
Yeah.
I love that we've taken a note from you because I said it's a religious gathering in my household. I said, is there chocolate in the cupboard? Yes or no?
Is it your currency still?
It still is to this. I'm rich, let me tell you that much. I absolutely love chocolate, man. Okay, so let's get into how it started out as a drink, actually, how it was consumed before, not as a bar or as chuckles as we see it today. It was a bitter spiced drink.
Makes sense, yeah.
Spice is interesting. I wonder what kind of spices they would have added to it.
Can you think of like cinnamony vibes? Because if you think about, I don't know if you've ever had like a raw cacao or just chocolate on its own, it is bitter.
I've had dark chocolate.
It is very like overwhelmingly bitter, overwhelmingly like nothing to do with sweetness.
Right.
But still has like a velvety sort of explosion and experience in terms of the texture.
Okay.
So it's a very strange thing, and you're almost like, it is missing something if you have it on its own and you're not used to it. So I can see why they've gone this route and how it's changed and developed over the years too.
I've had chili chocolate.
Ooh.
So that was also an interesting like mouth experience,
I think
right?
any spice with chocolate could actually work.
Yeah.
Think about it. What wouldn't work with a chocolate is the real question.
That's the real question, because you could have it everywhere. So thanks to those early innovators, man. Joseph Fry, Daniel Peter, chocolate covered into bars that we know and love to this day. We owe it to them for helping us out.
Yeah, but now here's where we are talking about Switzerland, and you had something to do with this. Now, they helped perfect its chocolate, and the Swiss are credited with refining the smooth texture and flavor of milk chocolate, making them leaders in chocolate production. And we were wondering why it didn't come from them. Well, they just, the finishing bits, they just fine-tuned it.
Put the cherry on the top, if you will. Also, chocolate and cherries, beautiful combination. All right, now that you've learned the history of chocolate, let's test your general knowledge. We're dropping some chocolate facts right now, but not all of them are true. So you got to put on your investigative hat. So let's get into it. Okay, I'll ask you the questions. Okay. True or false? Chocolate was once used as money. How good were you listening?
Well, it's kind of true because It's still used as a currency in certain households.
It is the truth, I'm telling you. I thought it was going to be a picture of me. Okay, ancient Aztecs used cacao beans as currency. You could buy anything with chocolate. I mean, that makes sense.
Makes sense. We should bring that back.
Here's your second question.
Yep.
White chocolate isn't really chocolate.
Ooh, in my world, it's not.
It's not.
In my world, I don't believe white chocolate's real chocolate.
Okay.
But I don't know what the truth is. What do they say?
Let's see what the truth is.
Ooh.
It
Ooh,
contains
okay.
cocoa butter, but not the solid. So technically, it's not real chocolate.
You see, stop
1
faking
point
on
to
us.
Ryle.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Here's number 3. The first chocolate bar was invented in Switzerland. True or false?
Well, I think we kind of just discussed that they perfected it. We thought they did actually discover it, but they perfected it, as far as I'm aware now.
So the answer is?
It's going to be false. Yeah,
Okay,
that's false.
let's see.
Yes.
The first solid chocolate bar was made in England by Joseph Fry in 1847. Okay,
Joseph Fry.
2 out of 3. Congrats.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Let's
we
keep
can
it
get
going.
this one. Okay, chocolate has been to outer space. True or false?
Ooh, I think this might be true, actually.
You
I can
think so?
imagine an astronaut going up in space and be like, what does chocolate taste up like that? It's got to be true. Surely? I wonder.
Let's see. It's true. They definitely include chocolate in the food packs.
Oh, it's like part of the actual meals.
Wow. I wonder what form it
Nice.
comes in, because they can't eat like general food, no?
I'm sure you could eat solid chocolate, though.
Can you eat solid chocolate? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
only like the liquid stuff that floats
floats
around
around.
and separates.
So
or
no hot chocolate.
Powdered
All right.
chocolate might be crazy. That'll go everywhere.
All right, eating chocolate every day is unhealthy. True or false? You know the truth.
I think it's, is eating chocolate healthy? Wait.
It's healthy.
It is healthy,
Come
actually.
on.
It depends how much. Look, it depends how much. But if you have a little bit every day, it's not that bad for you.
Surely
It's
a
actually
daily
healthy.
requirement.
Yeah,
let's
what do
see.
they say? In moderation.
Dark chocolate's full of antioxidants and can be good for your heart.
Yep.
Okay. Nobody said how much, though.
Zanzi's taking that too hard now. They're like, oh, well, Expresso said it, so
we
it's
good.
healthy now.